the Windy City, a Sunday showdown in the NWSL as the Chicago Stars host the Houston Dash. It's a home opener at SeatGeek Stadium and an opportunity for both teams to bounce back after Week 1 losses. Hello, everyone. Alongside Jordan Angeli, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And Jordan, this is an important game for both of these teams. I feel like I may be overstating things, but it does kind of feel like a must-win game.
I don't think you are, Maura. Week 2, it feels like a must-win game because in Week 1, Chicago had an uninspiring performance. Now they're at home. They have to prove that their style of absorbing pressure and hitting a team on a counterattack is still relevant in NWSL 2025. This Houston team, they're going to feel hard done from their Week 1 result, but they overhauled in the offseason. New GM, new coach, a ton of new players, and in order to be a different Houston Dash from what they were in the past, they have to win games like this.
Well, you said it. This is a completely different Houston Dash roster. They added 9 players, 6 of which have won either a Shield or a championship in this league.
When I'm looking at this, Maura, it's every single line of the field. You're bringing experience from within NWSL because it is the quickest to be able to give you performances right away, and they're going to rely on these players to really change the culture within the Houston Dash organization.
Especially someone like Yasmin Ryan, who had a breakout year with Gotham in 2024, 5 goals and 5 assists.
She can be the it girl here in Houston, and I think that's why Yasmin Ryan comes to the Houston Dash in free agency. 2 championships, 10 goal contributions last year. The thing for me, though, she's 26. She is in her prime. Can she be consistent, and can she be reliable for Houston Dash? Their success is going to hinge on that.
Well, for Chicago, got shut out against Orlando last week, 6-0 loss. Ali Schlegel may be the answer in terms of scoring goals.
3rd year in the league for her, and she has to now not just score goals, but she has to be the leader for this Chicago team. Can she get on the ball a little bit more often than we've seen her in the past? Because a lot of the play is going to flow through the feet of Ali Schlegel.
Well, Schlegel knows that just like her favorite pastime, fly fishing, got to be patient in terms of finding your footing in this league. She had a standout career at Penn State, and slowly but surely she has grown into a star player.
Because she's a sponge. She's absorbed everything around her, dipped her feet in the water in that first year, but really has found a way to be a consistent, reliable goal scorer for the Chicago Stars.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Ali Schlegel pregame, and we just spoke about how this team resets after that Orlando loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think, of course, coming into this week, we knew that part
Right,
of us needed to flush that down the drain and let us start fresh this week. And also we needed to take the lessons learned from that game. So I think the messaging this week was to continue to focus on us, you know, and improve what we can and what's in our control. And so I think that was really the messaging this week and in preparation for Houston.
Ali, SeatGeek Stadium was not really Chicago Stars' friend last year. How do you turn this place into your fortress?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, but I think we just have to take ownership over that and over our home field. I think, you know, that's just a mentality that we've been speaking over and over to this team. I think we became like the Road Warriors last year, and although we want to continue that this year, we also want to make this place somewhere where people are scared to play, right? They come in here, it's windy or it's cold or it's maybe not the perfect conditions, but we want to be gritty and continue to show that mentality while we're here at home.
Thanks, Ali. Stay warm.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Well, we've got some top-notch kits ready to go here in Chicago from SeatGeek Stadium. We'll have lineups in first kick on the other side between the Chicago Stars and the Houston Dash. NWSL action when we return. Stick with us.
Paying for your kids' college can feel overwhelming. That's why College Ave's private student loans are designed with flexibility to fit your budget and keep life simple. With competitive rates and an instant credit decision, there's a reason our loan experience is highly rated. We've got your back from application to graduation and beyond. Get started with helpful tools and resources that allow the whole family to stress less on the road to success with College Ave.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts. For the trend spins and the silk shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. Gotham FC. Pride. Tonight, 5 p.m. on ESPN2.
Son, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to live the good life.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
You'll know what the good life is when you live it.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Watch this. Watch us move. Watch us fly. Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just you watch.
Well, the city of Chicago ready to see the first game in 2025 for the Chicago Stars, the rebrand with the new name, taking on the Houston Dash here on this Sunday afternoon. As we get ready to kick off from SeatGeek Stadium. Let's take a look at the starting 11s for both squads. We'll begin with the Chicago Stars, coached by Lauren Donaldson.
The big news here, Maura, is Sam Staub gets her first start in 242 days, and she'll sit next to B. Franklin. And when you look at this 4-2-3-1, it's going to really be dependent on Grosso and Recaro there centrally to hold down that space in front of the back line for the Chicago team. And then you have players to go in front, playing behind with Jamise Joseph and Ludmila back after that red card suspension.
And here's the starting 11 for the Houston Dash, coached by Fabrice Gattra.
And they look very similar to what they did last year, last week. The change is Ryan Garris comes in and gets her first start. We'll see how that midfield fleshes out. Will Colaprigo get to play a little bit higher of a position with Schmidt holding in the 6? But it's all about Yasmin Ryan and how she can help unlock this defense.
Our center official today, Irina Petronak. Purple kits for Houston on the road, blue kits for Chicago at home. And we are underway. Chicago Stars, Houston Dash in the NWSL Week 2. And Jordan Angeli, Maura Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us. Ali Schlegel with her first touches. And Chicago on the move. Shea Groom plays it wide to Malum. Looking for a cross, and she's blocked there. A little congested, creating space now. Grosso, head on a swivel. Taking on Patterson. And it's off of Patterson and out of play, so a corner very early for Chicago.
And that's what Ali Schlegel was just talking to us about, right? Is making sure that they make SeatGeek Stadium a hard place to play. And the one thing you can do is control the controllables, which is your effort, especially at the beginning of the game, setting a tone. Great start from the Red Stars. Or just the Stars. There's number 1.
Grosso off the header, well wide. Franklin tracks it down. And it will be another corner. Oh, just kidding. It ricocheted off of Franklin. Franklin back at center back for Chicago. With Staub, now healthy. Hannah Anderson starts off the bench for the Red Stars. In general, this has been kind of a banged up Chicago back line really since last year. Natalia Kuika is still out with an injury, but they're happy to have Sam Staub healthy again. Garris, Ryan. Paige Nielsen on the ball. For Staub, this is her first start since July of 2024. She tore her Achilles. It's been amazing to watch her recovery happen so fast.
about 8 months since she's back on the field. Absolutely incredible. Lauren Donaldson really credited Sam Staub's mentality, how hard she worked to get herself back on the field. One of the best left-footed ball-playing center backs in this league. And she is someone that if Chicago does want to play quick in transition, she can play that ball to unleash the weapons that they have up front.
Her long balls over the top are super dangerous. Here she is showing that off, looking for Ludmila. Garris wins that foot race. And Chicago happy to have Ludmila back as well. She missed the final game of the 2024 regular season, the quarterfinal game for Chicago, and the first game of 2025 on a suspension after an incident with Rosamond Kouassi of Washington.
What did Lauren Donaldson say? It feels like she's been suspended for 2 years. She is ready to go, and you can see it already with her energy. And just a quick note, Maura, with this Houston Dash team, they actually look like they're lining Yasmin Ryan up as the 10 and Garris and Olivieri as the wingers, different than what we received from them. So just a little tweak there to what they're going to do here against the Red Stars.
Nielsen tries to chip that, but gives it to Schlegel. Schlegel. And it's broken up. Olivieri able to stick a leg out. Jane Campbell scoops. This is a pretty decent start for Chicago. Well, the pressure's paying off. Well, the Dash coming off of a 2-1 loss to Washington. That was at Shell Energy Stadium, so the home opener for Houston. Got down 2-0 early in the first half and then came back thanks to Maggie Graham, the rookie, who we will likely see come in off the bench for Houston, but it was too little too late to fully complete a comeback. Groom accelerates just outside the 18, combines with Joseph. Campbell denies.
And this comes from good defense, and this is what I mentioned in the open. If Chicago's going to be a team that plays really good defensively, they have to recognize these areas. So Jacobs dribbles in the midfield, you win this ball, and then one pass gets you in behind. Shea Groom now going 1v1, can slip the ball through here. Great little transition play from Chicago, stemming from good defensive structure.
And yet another corner, the third of the game for Chicago on the outswinger. Nothing much there. Franklin looks for a second ball. Instead, she'll reset. From Bigelski. And Campbell brings it in. Well, the Chicago team last in shots and possession in 2024. A very direct team. Houston's backline and team just looks a little out of sorts. Bigelski whips it across, cut off by Nielsen. Campbell is there as well, and Jacobs is fouled in the 18 by Ludmila.
It's going to take a little adaptation here for Houston because they probably weren't anticipating Chicago to come out and high press from the jump. This has not typically been a high pressing team under Lauren Donaldson. So now can they solve these situations? That's who I'd want on the ball. Danny Colaprico, so steady in moments to help them with the build.
Nielsen having trouble again. Olivieri. And it's a foul against the Dash. But this press, it makes sense with the personnel that Chicago has in this starting 11. Look at players like Ludmila and Joseph, Shea Groom as well, a very physical veteran.
Well, then you add Ali Schlegel to the front four as well, because behind her you have Grosso and Recaro who can sit in those two in front of the back line and try to deny. If your first press gets broken, then you still have a good set of players in that next wave that can help slow the game down.
Grosso, mid-season transfer in 2024 from Juventus. It's another set-piece opportunity for Chicago. Not even 10 minutes into this match, can they convert and take their first lead of 2025? Off Grosso's left foot, header from Schlegel, no. Lightly tapped out. There's a big shot, but it's over the crossbar from Bigelski.
I think everybody saw Jordan Bugg's goal this week. The defenders, well, you got Kiki Pickett last week, now you got Jordan Bugg. And here, as the ball pops out, Bigelski was trying to get her name in lights as well. But I don't mind it with so many players in front of the net. You're hoping for a deflection if you get anything on frame.
Lauren Donaldson bundled up in his second season as a head coach for the Chicago Stars. This is a team that's without Mallory Swanson, out with an excused absence, scored 7 goals for Chicago last year. Olivieri getting pushed, powers through, finds Ryan in space. Garris makes a run with her. That's where she goes. Garris cuts it back to her right foot. Now on her left, and it's tapped away. Bigelski does well there. Schmidt keeps it though with Houston. Jacobs serves it up, right? Heavy touch. Colaprico looking for Patterson. Olivieri out of reach.
Much better from Houston though, because if you can break that first press with a long ball, you have to have Olivieri keeping possession, and she does a good job to help relieve some of the pressure and then switch it. Make sure Chicago is able to defend all the different threats that Houston has going forward. Like to see Garris though shoot that with her left foot. They were just leaving it open for her.
Well, because Houston added so many players, I think they're still trying to figure each other out in the final third.
And it's typical of the first few weeks of seasons. No matter what team you are, you're maybe at max retaining 80% of your team from last year. So those little moments in the attacking third are the hardest to mesh in. Not all of us are Orlando and can get 6 goals in the first game.
Yeah, when we talked to Lauren Donaldson, he said that was a tough game. No excuses, but they walked into a banner raising ceremony at Inter & Co for Orlando. And the Pride just came out swinging. Orlando scored in the 7th minute, didn't look back after that. Last goal was in the 87th minute. Barbara Banda had 2 goals and an assist. And just ran into a freight train, frankly.
But also he said it was their lowest numbers when it comes to their distance covered. That's a controllable, Maura.
Yeah.
That is, do you want to be out there and do you want to play at the highest level? And I think for all these players, the answer to that is yes, but you got to prove it week in and week out. There are no easy games in this league. Even when things go wrong, the one thing you can control is how hard you work. And right now we're seeing that reaction from the Stars.
Colaprico, Bright, Malum. Alyssa Nair.
Whoa, little wind there.
Yes, that can add to the unpredictability of a game, the wind in Chicago.
This is a hard field to play at. One where when I played that there in the previous NWPS and in NWSL, it's a big field. There is so much space out there, but also it tends to be really windy, so it can be a game of 2 halves where one team controls one half and then in the opposite half you see everything switch.
Who would have thought in the Windy City?
I know,
pretty windy.
I think that nickname
fits.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it.
Stop to Franklin, the second-year player. Bigelski. Schlegel.
You just work fine.
Runs into Ryan, takes her down, hence the whistle. Well, Ryan was a very big signing for Houston. Had 5 goals and 6 assists when you count the playoffs with Gotham last year. She's just a pure winner. Won a Shield in her rookie year with Portland, a championship in 2022 with Portland, championship with Gotham in 2023, and then last year doesn't win a championship but has her best personal year and makes best 11 in the NWSL.
I think it's an excellent pickup from Angela Hughley is the GM of Fabrice Gautra trying to get a winner like that into this system.
Lind. Nielsen. Patterson. 1v1 with Malum. Moves to her right. The cross. Olivieri off the post.
Yikes.
On the rebound, Schmidt. Colaprico. Houston settles, possesses now. What a chance, though. Garris. Olivieri makes a run.
Avery Patterson last year did not get enough credit because she was playing on a Houston team that wasn't very successful.
Olivieri.
She played 2,000 minutes. Converted from a winger to a wingback and an outside back at times. And now, Avery Patterson, watch out. This is going to be a huge year for her, but for how much Fabrice Gautra wants to have the ball, they're going to utilize her. She's going to get into those situations where she can look like a winger again in 1v1 battles in the channel. I'm really excited to see what she does in this new system because I thought she was one of the best rookies in 2024.
Well, she was the MVP in the Washington game. We talk about the subs that came in, but she was the one that turned the tides, I would say, from that right side. There's a shot! Just off the mark. Garris going for it.
And where does that start again? It's Patterson winning the ball in the middle of the field, finding the right pass. And Garris looked good in her first game back. I know she played a few last year after coming back from maternity leave, but this great, well received on the back foot so she can open her hips up towards goal. And Houston looked more lively when she did come on the field as a substitute.
Nielsen. I can feel Houston growing into this match on the road against the Chicago Stars. Jacobs. Slice into Schmidt, dispossessed on that from Recaro and Grosso. Groom going up against her former club in Houston. Signed as a free agent ahead of last season. After spending 2020 through 2023 with the Dash, now joined Chicago. Patterson to Messiah Bright. Long strides for Bright. And her pass is intercepted. Olivieri. Colaprico. Patterson. Schlegel.
Yeah, I got to press here.
Here's that press for Houston. Malum plays it long. It's right to Nielsen.
But that's why you press. I think people have this misconceived notion that the press is to win the ball as high as possible. Yes, that's your first goal. But if not, you want to force a team into a bad pass, which Houston just did. And now look, they've got numbers still forward. They can try to connect that pass a little bit better.
Groom. Swarm of defenders. Malum on the flank, being bothered by Olivieri, just holding hands.
Wasn't the time to hold hands, was it?
No, I don't think it was intentional. Fabrice Gautra in his first season as the Houston head coach, going up against a club in which he started his NWSL career with in Chicago, then moved on to North Carolina where he was an assistant for 2 years. It does feel like starting from scratch a little bit with the Dash, sometimes that can be a good thing. It's a team that finished last in the NWSL.
I think through, a game in 17 minutes, if you're just a fan of the league, you're going to be excited for how Fabrice Gautra wants this Houston Dash team to play. I think
Joseph gets around, shoots and scores! Jamise Joseph! Well, she muscles it away, and Chicago leads.
Well, this is what the Stars have to be great at. It is one pass, one run, and Jamise Joseph picking the ball off of Nielsen, and then you have to put the ball in the back of the net when you create these
slowing
chances.
us down.
If you rely on good structured defense, quick counterattacks, you need players like this. Great finish from Joseph, just tucks it away as she gets pulled down. You can see the reaction from all of the Stars players. That goal means a lot to this squad after a difficult week 1.
Well, it's a first goal of 2025 for Chicago, the first lead for the Stars in 2025, and of course the first goal for Joseph in her second year. No sophomore slump for Jamise Joseph. She scored 2 in her rookie season with Chicago, and now Houston, playing from behind yet again, found themselves in the same situation against Washington. Patterson blocked. Jacobs.
And now this is where it's going to be extremely challenging because Chicago's comfortable in a lower block. Can Houston find the right pass to pick the lock here? How many times did we see Chicago do this last year, right? Score early, just drop in, park the bus, make those passing lanes so difficult to break through. Jamise Joseph's got to like scoring at home too. She scored a lot of her goals on the road last year.
Ludmila. Olivieri taps to Schmidt. Goes left with Garris, who drives forward. Jacobs on the cross. No one on the end of that. And it comes off of Grosso, a corner for the Dash.
And you mentioned just finding what they're going to look like in the final third. You have to have someone at the penalty spot. So there's runners, yes, inside the box there. But for Houston, can they pick and choose their runs a little bit sharper to make sure that they have got near post, far post, and that slot taken care of when one of their players in the channel gets into crossing situations?
Olivieri looking for the equalizer for Houston. Middle of the 6, and it's a goal! Paige Nielsen, the center back.
Goal! Wow, all right, chat, we're going good here.
Well, that's the response you want if you're Houston.
That's the response you want if you're Paige Nielsen, because you know how terrible she's feeling after that last goal that just gets scored. A couple seconds ago, she gets beat in a 1v1 situation, so she knows if there is a set piece, she can be effective. That is brilliant from Sophie Schmidt. Inside of the left boot, flicks it towards goal, and then Nielsen says, I will take it. I'll take this little weird deflection, pop it into the top netting. That's a great reaction from this Dash squad and from the veteran Paige Nielsen.
Well, things getting interesting now between Chicago and Houston. Back-to-back goals, one for each side. Now, Chicago has won the last 4 matches across all competitions against Houston. And prior to right now in that Nielsen goal, been all clean sheets as well. Joseph playing the advantage for Chicago. Taking on Lind and Nielsen, who's slower. Grosso on the spin. That was Nielsen's second goal for the Dash. Scored against her
it's just
former
dropping
club
into
in Angel
excellent
City last year.
into poor this whole time. It won't stay steady.
And a player that was traded in April from Angel City. Schlegel. Franklin. Garris is looming. Alyssa Nair. Ludmila. Now Schmidt for Houston. Jacobs. Well, there's more NWSL action coming up later tonight with a battle of the last two NWSL champions as Gotham FC take on Barbara Banda and the Orlando Pride live on ESPN2. That starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Mike and Leanne are going to be on the call on that one. It should be a good game, Maura. How do you stop Orlando right now? It's one game into the season and we're already thinking that.
Well, it's been an incredible just stretch here for the Pride, fresh off an NWSL championship in 2024. And of course, Chicago ran into that in the last game, but a much better performance so far, getting a little bit chippy as well. You see the intensity for both of these teams. We talked about this in the Open. It does kind of feel like a must-win.
You think when the schedule comes out and you see that you have Orlando first, you're thinking, hey, can I say something? Can I switch the first game of the season?
Well, someone had to do it.
Really going into the Lions' den, like figuratively and literally there with that Pride team.
Ryan. Garris. Schmidt. Ludmila trying to connect with Joseph, stays with Houston in the attacking third. Garris 1v1 with Bagelski, moves to her right, slides that into Ryan. You can see how deep Chicago's sitting now. Bright cross, Nair cuts it off, tight angle.
And I know Garris is a right-footed player, but she needs to try to go 1v1 and get around the edge of Bagelski.
Stop.
Because I think that is a space where she can be really effective. You don't even have to make a move. Just touch the ball long, pass the outside back, and get on your horse, because there's so much space there to be had, and it's so tight and congested centrally where she keeps dribbling into.
Well, this Houston team can take a little bit of inspiration from Chicago in 2024. The Stars finished last in 2023 in the NWSL, made the postseason the next year. That's what Houston's trying to do. Actually, the last three teams that have finished last in the NWSL have made the postseason the following year.
There's a reason why on paper this Houston Dash, why they can't do it. They overhauled. We talked about it in the Open, bringing in NWSL veterans like Messiah Bright, who know how to win. And one of the things I think also benefits them is they're deeper than they've ever been. Deanna Ordonez is off SEI on the bench here tonight, and now you have a true battle in the 9 too. So what you want there is competition. When goals aren't being scored, well, you can sub that player off and get somebody else in. I like the depth of this Houston team, and if they really start to mesh and gel together, they're going to be one to look out for.
Well, that's something that Gautrat said in week one ahead of that Washington game. That's their biggest strength, their depth. Bright. Plays it for Olivieri. Lifts into the box. Patterson trying to power that one into the back of the net.
I mean, the wind did her dirty there. The ball just got held up in the air, couldn't quite meet it. She ends up getting hit in the face there.
Well, over 25 minutes into this game, Chicago and Houston tied up at 1 apiece. Nair, Olivieri in front. Bagelski runs out of room. Of course, we're seeing two premier keepers on either end, Alyssa Nair and Jane Campbell.
But also two keepers who, for the majority of their career, haven't been asked to play as much out of the back as I think the game now demands of you. Even in that last pass in particular, I think Alyssa Nair has to beat that first line of defense for Houston. Otherwise, you just turn it over, and here they are again in possession in your own attacking third.
Brian Bright. Olivieri, tight passes, using the width now. Garris, Ryan on the turn, Schmidt, Ryan cuts back in, almost. The other way for Chicago. Lind was on maternity leave for all of last year after giving birth to her son Thomas. He's back in the center back position for Houston. Actually started her career with Chicago. Katie Lind was the number 19 pick in 2016.
Number 19, huh?
Grosso breaks it up. And that counter doesn't get going for Groom and Ludmila.
You can tell Chicago's okay with Paige Nielsen having the ball. So if I'm Houston, I'm thinking when Nielsen gets the ball, can we provide better angles for her to be able to play out in the back? This is multiple turnovers off that right side. Chicago really pressing hard. As the ref warns, no more fouls on Shea Groom. Is it 3 strikes when you're out 2 in soccer?
Yeah, I view it as kind of your parents counting down.
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1. That's it.
Go to your room.
Yeah.
Go to the yellow card room.
Haven't seen a yellow yet, but clearly the next one against Groom, we will see a card come out. Grosso loses a handle on it, then pokes it back to Staub.
Sam Staub, Mr. in Washington.
Franklin. Bigelski. Joseph scored the first goal in this match, and Paige Nielsen equalized. And that's where we sit at SeatGeek Stadium.
If I'm B. Franklin, I'm going over the top. Just turn Houston over with a big ball. What's the purpose of playing here through the middle of the field where all the numbers are? You can see how happy Sophie Schmidt is with that. Play it over the back. Let Ludmila or Jamise Joseph just chase the ball, and then you can move your lines up slightly. Maybe you can win the ball back higher on the field. But it worked once. Who's to say it's not going to work twice?
It worked for Chicago for a lot of last year as well, sort of their bread and butter.
Maybe she's a little hesitant with the wind and playing that long ball if it might get caught up in the wind. There it is. You see how much that held up with the wind?
Ludmila had to hold up her run. Groom. Well, Houston knows how weather can affect games. Nobody wants to go play the Dash in July. Stop. Groom. Fouled by Colaprico. Knocked her from behind. Here comes a card. They were warned.
3-2-1. Colaprico, you get the yellow card. It felt at first like a clean takeaway. What's difficult here is Colaprico touches it there and Groom kicks Colaprico's leg. And I think that's one where I think it could have gone either way, right? It's a clean challenge, but because the contact happens after almost in the mid-swing of Shea Groom, it looks worse than it really is. Does that make sense?
Oh, Colaprico played 8 seasons with the Chicago, then Red Stars, before joining San Diego for a pair of seasons, now with this Houston team. Ryan. Lind. Nielsen. Olivieri. Looking to find the seams of this Chicago defense. Jacobs. Schlegel on the takeaway.
Wow,
Joseph.
here we go.
Picking up speed. In stride. Groom. Into the box. shot, shoots. Blocked by Nielsen on the rebound. He'll play it from the wing now. Looking for a cross. Ludmila's there.
And Schlegel was in that exact space before she moved to the slot position. This is good from Ali Schlegel, winning the ball back centrally, starting that counterattack. Jamise Joseph has been active, getting on the ball in transitional moments to be the playmaker. I think, though, for Shea Groom, this has to be a cross. Originally, it's a shot. She gets the ball back. Look, Ali Schlegel's a little bit farther back, and then she comes to the slot, and the ball goes all the way through right where she was.
Oh, YouTube.
Bright.
For the billions of dollars you make
surges up the flank.
every day.
Groom running with her. Bright in her 3rd year in the NWSL. Patterson.
Oh.
Pass Schlegel.
She should shoot that. Oh my God.
Nielsen. Schmidt. Didn't see Ludmila behind her. Ryan. Pushed off the ball. Grosso. Malum. Staub. Off of Ryan's back. And Nair comes out.
Get down. I don't blame you.
Garris Bogowski keeps it with Chicago.
We haven't seen much of Sam Staub on the ball. Would like to see Chicago try to play it a little bit more through that side because she is such a good ball progressor with her left foot, finding the right seam. Uh-oh.
Well, Campbell fell, or nearly fell. Stumbled on her way to that ball.
Yeah, but that's a fine reaction, right? Just play it long, regroup. Don't let one mistake tumble into the next.
Nielsen. About 10 minutes to go in the first half. Chicago and Houston level. Garris. Bright. Ryan. Olivieri to Patterson. Open on the right side. Patterson cross. Nayer's there, so is Staub. Malum looking to clear. Finds Groom. Still a press. Olivieri. Off the service, Garris. Still in the attack for Houston.
But Houston has been so effective. That was a brilliant build-up play because they're constantly in the seams between the lines. So it's not just these horizontal lines that we see in this 4-4-2 for Chicago, but it's also the vertical lines, finding those little pockets so then they could do an up, back, and through, switch the point of attack. Really good stuff from the Dash as they try to break down this tight defensive block from Chicago.
Well, we've seen glimpses of it, just maybe looking for some more consistency. Ludmila showing off her pace. Nielsen rushes back defensively, gets some help from Olivieri, and a nice tackle by Nielsen. Ludmila down in some pain.
We haven't seen Ludmila in these situations yet this game, really this year, right? Because she just came back from that suspension, but she's so dangerous in 1v1 situations because she can go at you, slow down, speed up, and just with one touch get by. Ends up getting A little extra there from Nielsen.
Joseph. Groom steps 2. Out of the woods thanks to Garris.
It's going to be a good race.
Franklin Patterson on her back.
It's been intriguing so far.
Franklin. Groom.
Too much.
Colabrico pounces on it. Ryan.
Tons of space.
Up the middle, the ball to Bright. Just barely got a piece of that Chicago. Otherwise, that's probably a goal.
Yeah. It's a good look there from Ryan, but I think it's the wrong surface of her foot. If she plays out with the outside of her left or even the inside of her right, it's bending a little bit more towards Bright and away from the defender's foot. I mean, that's picky, but that's the difference between scoring a goal there or not, or getting a shot on goal. And Yasmin Ryan has that in her bag.
Schmidt lands awkwardly. It looks like she's all right. Colabrico. Garris on the service, back post. Nair was the last to touch. Her and Stop getting in each other's way, though.
Wow. Yellow card from previous. Interesting.
But there's Garris going to the end line with her left foot with a pretty decent cross, right? I think she has to be a little bit more selfish in those times to get to the end line.
Olivieri gonna give Houston the lead. Lands back out, nothing on that corner kick. Olivieri, Lind, Ryan. And Stop just ushers it out. Well, prior to that corner kick, Ali Schlegel was given a yellow card. So Colabrico has a yellow for Houston. Schlegel has a yellow.
I think it was that tackle where you said that Sophie Schmidt landed awkwardly. She's coming in a little late there from Schlegel. But I've liked her energy. I've liked the Red Stars' energy through the majority of this first half.
The rain ponchos are coming out for some fans. It's cold and potentially gonna rain. Bridgeview, Illinois, Chicago Stars in the Houston Dash. Bit of a drizzle.
Cold drizzle at that. Kat, what are you doing?
Jacobs. Garris. Jolted from Franklin. Joseph gets a step. Jacobs denies.
Oh, got stepped on in the aftermath.
Down. Jacobs. Nielsen against Schlegel. And it rolls out. Jacobs still clutching her calf.
That was perfect from our cameraman. Good work there finding that.
Well, Schlegel's a personality, we know.
Yes. I think she should feel a little bit hard done there. Looks to earn the corner kick. But those have been the moments really more where Chicago has looked at their best. It's block, it's almost between that and a high press, and they're picking the ball off, and then they have numbers forward that they can quickly connect with one another. Slightly different from what we've typically seen of them, but they're being effective with it.
Vaccaro. Right. Nielsen. Messiah Bright wants to go. Malum staying with her. From Bright, right into Malum. Patterson now. Olivieri shoots. Nair
what a
sorts it
save.
down.
Good job by Nair to have that near post covered. Because when you get into this little half space here, look at how open Olivieri is. It's a great setup touch. But Nair's in the perfect place. She just has to jump up, bring the ball back into her possession. It's a great pass there.
Break some lines. Malum to Schlegel, now to Joseph.
Out of bounds.
That second pass behind Jamise Joseph.
Guess we'll have to turn it down, maybe. I don't know.
Campbell. Colaprico. Olivieri. Patterson. Moves to the middle.
Into the house.
Patterson was looking for Ryan.
And that's something that Patterson did really well at UNC just 2 years ago when she was in college, but she typically came off the left side. So she could drive inside, use her right foot, and shoot from distance. I think you just give it a go there, because if anything, then you're asking a lot from the defense. They have to shift how they're defending that space. Maybe they come at you slightly at the top of the box. You can slip the ball then through to Messiah Bright, and that passing lane gets a little bit bigger.
Garris beat to by Bigelski. Ryan slots it to Bright. Olivieri. Bright.
1 minute,
Just
huh?
can't connect. Ooh. Oh. Groom just got stepped on. And Groom's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a follow through, and I think just got cleat to the shin there, right below your shin guards, and I'll just tell you that does not feel good, Maura.
Well, if you're getting hit in the shin and it's below your shin guards are too goddamn
Run
small.
out of the way. Someone's coming towards me. I'm stepping aside. A minute of stoppage time at SeatGeek Stadium.
And here it is right there. And Olivieri knew right away. She's like, ouch.
Let's stop. We know she can play this long. Off her left foot. Some air to it. That lands right for Garris.
See if we can
Ludmila.
capture this a little bit here.
There's the whistle to end the first half. Chicago strikes first thanks to Jamise Joseph, and Paige Nielsen finds the equalizer for Houston just moments later.
It felt like a 1-1 game in that first half. I was impressed with Chicago's energy, their high press to start the game. But then as Houston started to grow into the match, they showed you how many different ways they can break you down. But it has to be sharper for both teams when they get into the attacking third, because they're not going to get a lot of chances in this second 45. So who's going to be able to be the difference maker? Houston has a lot more threats there going forward.
Well, we are joined by Paige Nielsen, who scored the second goal, and to bring us level. Paige, what'd you see on that set piece opportunity that led to your finish?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working on that all preseason and we haven't produced, so Sophie made a good run and it was a perfect ball. I'm just the trash on the backside, so I needed that because I let
trash
go
on the
in
backside? Are you
to
kidding?
start, so.
Well, your mentality sets you apart. Many times, Paige, it was a great goal, but you guys have had a lot of possession in the attacking third. How do you guys break this low block down for the Red Stars, the Stars?
Yeah, I think the final third, the final piece is the hardest to get. We have a lot of new players, but you can see it's coming together, and it's just getting closer to the goal and taking shots. We need to take more shots. So.
Thanks, Paige.
I don't know about you, YouTube.
Well, Houston and Chicago in a tight one, as tight as it gets, 1-1. The Stars and the Dash from SeatGeek Stadium will take a break, come back with the halftime report on the other side. Stick with us here. NWSL action coming up.
The NWSL is the most competitive league in the world.
You're watching Avengers Assemble.
I channel my inner Dennis Rodman on the field.
Oh man, the league has grown and it's awesome to see.
NWSL is changing. Almost an entire generation is leaving just as the game is beginning to soar.
I'll leave everything on the field, but I want this title.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Rush Physical Therapy is here for you. Rush Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Rush Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at rushpt.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts for the trend spins and the silk shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. Gotham FC. Pride. Tonight, 5 p.m. on ESPN2. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Across from Chicago, rising for Lupila scores. Keep testing me.
Watch this. Watch us move. Watch us fly. Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just you watch.
Through 45 minutes at SeatGeek Stadium, 1-1 is the score. Chicago and Houston. Everyone just trying to get warm. Some good snacks there. Jealous of the French fries. Anyway, let's take a look around the NWSL. It's been a busy weekend. We've seen some really good goals. But let's take a look. We'll start with this North Carolina-Seattle game. How about Seattle on the road at WakeMed? Starts with Jess Fishlock.
And she's been in a higher position through the start of this season, and you can see why Laura Harvey likes this. But you know what we like? Center back bangers. From 40 yards out, Jordan Bugg, the young center back for Seattle. Watch out. That girl's going to make a splash in this league.
18 years old for the Reign. Then Temwa Chawinga, doing what she does best, earns a penalty. Labonta buries it for Kansas City against Washington.
And then she gets on her bike because she said that's what we do here in Kansas City. Well, Chawinga's always on her bike, scores yet again. Big statement from Kansas City going to the Spirit and getting a 2-0 win.
AFC Racing Louisville, the late game on Saturday, and it starts another goal from a center back in Joelle Anderson.
It's great placement from Anderson, and Albertine Montoya's Bay FC is a little unpredictable this year, Maura, but you know what's going to be predictable? Carly Lima. Her pace, her speed, and look at this finish. That is postage stamp corner from the rookie. Another 2-0 win there in the Bay.
And the final game, a high-scoring game, San Diego and Utah back and forth this entire match.
Cascarino is going to be a handful this season. She's so good at getting the end line. It's Adriana Leon who scores, and then Zornoza showing a little Spanish flair on that set piece. It's 2-2 to late in the game, and giveaway here lets Gia Corley, the newcomer, win it for San Diego in their home opener.
Well, just another fun weekend. Not done yet in the NWSL. Gotham and Orlando coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
And we saw a lot of great goals, but we didn't get to see the goal from Kennedy Fuller in that Portland game. Beautiful strike by the young player there for Angel City. But that one later tonight should be a good one.
Well, we still have another half to play too between Chicago and Houston. We'll take a break, come back with highlights from the first 45 minutes. Stick with us.
Son, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to live the good life.
Holy cow.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
You'll know what the good life is when you live it.
Kia, movement that inspires.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts for the trend spins and the soap shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. Gotham FC. Pride. Tonight, 5 p.m. on ESPN2.
Paying for your kids' college
I do believe I need that
overwhelming. That's why College Av's private student loans are designed with flexibility to fit your budget and keep life simple. With competitive rates and an instant credit decision, there's a reason our loan experience is highly rated. We've got your back from application to graduation and beyond. Get started with helpful tools and resources that allow the whole family to stress less on the road to success with College Ave.
Chawinga breaks free. The shot!
KC Current takes on the Utah Royals. Then the Portland Thorns battle the Courage.
Sanchez fires it!
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 p.m.
Ion, it's on. Watch this. Watch us move. Watch us fly. Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just you watch.
With a focus on seeking the best investment opportunities across global markets, Palmer Square now has more than $34 billion in assets. Now, Palmer Square's expertise is available to a broader range of investors with the launch of 2 publicly traded ETFs and a publicly traded BDC. With options available on the New York Stock Exchange, investors can access Palmer Square's opportunistic strategies, as well as the firm's long track record of investment management. To learn more about investment options, visit palmersquarecap.com.
Swing and breaks free. The shot!
Casey Current takes on the Utah Royals. Then the Portland Thorns battle the Courage.
Sanchez fires it!
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 p.m.
Ion, it's on.
Highlights from the first half, Chicago Stars Houston Dash first meeting of 2025.
And shocker, the Stars score on a quick transition moment. B. Franklin gets her first assist of her professional career, and it's a dime. She plays in behind and just lets Jamise Joseph do the work here. I love the placement there from Joseph, the patience in the box, even under pressure to put it away. And then when you put the ball into the mix, it really can be dangerous no matter what. It's a great flick here from Sophie Schmidt, and Nielsen, after giving up the goal on the other side, said, I needed that, and levels it for the Houston Dash just a few minutes later.
Blankets, hot cocoa, everybody's ready to go for the second half coming up after this.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts. For the Trin Spins and the Soph Shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. Gotham FC. Pride. Tonight, 5 p.m. on ESPN2. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Keep testing me. Keep testing me.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Rush Physical Therapy is here for you. Rush Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Rush Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at rushpt.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
Watch this. Watch us move. Watch us fly. Watch us break. Watch us burn. Watch us rise. Watch us rule. Just you watch.
Swinga breaks free. The shot!
Casey Current takes on the Utah Royals. Then the Portland Thorns battle the Courage.
Sanchez fires it!
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 p.m.
Ion, it's on.
Chicago and Houston looking for win number 1 on the young season in 2025. Second half about to kick off. Jordan Angeli, Maura Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us. Chilly afternoon. It'll be Messiah Bright for Houston to begin with possession. This Dash team has possessed for 63% of this game. That is something to be expected when you're going up against the Chicago Stars. And we do have a sub to tell you about. It's a sub we expected. Sam Staub is not ready to go for a full 90 minutes after tearing her Achilles last season. So Hannah Anderson, who started the first game for Chicago, slots in as the new center back. And we kick off here in the second. First goal, Jamise Joseph. Chicago got on the board to begin this game. And quickly after that, Paige Nielsen found the equalizer on a set piece.
How good was it to see Sam Staub back out on the field? The true Iron Woman in this league, 106 straight starts until she tore her Achilles, and she looked good. 77% possession, 28 touches. Maybe didn't get on the ball as often as we like seeing her, but hey, 45 minutes, healthy, affecting this Stars team, and I think that's exactly what Lauren Donaldson is going to be happy about.
Messiah Bright wants to go, taking on multiple defenders for Chicago. And it's Anderson who just stepped on the pitch, who tackles it away. Well, Anderson in her second year in the NWSL, really thrown into the fire because of the injuries to Staub and Natalia Kuika for the Red Stars last year. She became the starting center back about mid-season in 2024. And she had 3 different pairings with her, because Carrie Riccaro at one point was a center back for the Stars.
I think she did a really good job. It's tough to come into this league with the pace that's now been injected into NWSL and play that center back role. But one of the things that Anderson does well, as we just saw, is how she reads the play, can cut off the angles and get to the space instead of always getting caught in a foot race. And she's a left-footed player, so that really helps in the way